Over 3,000 drivers have lost their jobs in 2019 so far. Is there something going on with the trucking industry, or is it just fixing itself? Let's talk about it. Several trucking companies have shut down this year. We've talked about them, about the ones where the drivers will be stranded and the drivers that were just told, hey, we got to close our doors. And what is the main reasons this has happened? Well, there's several. First, let's go into the first example of Kearney Trucking. They had about 25 truck drivers. It's an Alabama-based trucking company that was founded in 1983, and it announced on July 31st that the operation was shutting down. Owner David Kearney told FreightWaves that the cost of insurance forced the company to shutter. And then we go to Starlight Trucking. Starlight Trucking, which was in business for 40 years, announced on July 12th that the company was closing down. The company was based in Ceres, California, about 100 miles southeast of San Francisco, and mostly hauled livestock feed, nuts, and other products for agricultural regions. CEO Colby Bell said in a statement on Facebook that the rising compliance costs of California's regulations gutted the company. Another company, New England Motor Freight, had 1,472 truck drivers. On February 12th, New England Motor Freight stunned the rest of the industry when it announced it was filing for bankruptcy and shutting down operations. NEMF generated $402 million in revenue in 2017, ranking it as the 19th largest less-than-truckload trucking company in the U.S. LTL is the type of trucking in which multiple shippers share a truck space to ship packages. It employed more than 1,300 truck drivers. Thomas Connery, the president and chief of operating officer of NEMF, told Business Insider that high labor costs and other costs of business in the trucking industry were the leading reasons for the company's bankruptcy filings. Excessive regulations, significant toll increases, and the high cost of insurance were also among contributing factors. There's a whole list of here. This comes from businessinsider.com. I will leave a link down below. The trucking industry has this thing all the time. It's called a trucking recession. Simply put, when too many people are doing super good and they try to buy too many trucks that they can afford, the market simply crashes because there's just an influx of drivers and companies out there, and thus making the spot market cheaper because there's just so many drivers. When you have so many drivers, fighting, bidding against load after load on taking the cheapest freight possible, that's your problem. Now, are the rules and regulations also issued? Yes. The FMCSA, along with the ATA, have been putting and fighting to put a lot of these smaller companies out of business and ruining smaller companies by adding more regulations to the industry, thus making our job harder for us. Now, the FMCSA has put out hours of service laws that's supposed to be more lenient to the trucking industry, but in fact it hasn't really been that lenient. It hasn't really changed that much at all. They're going to be putting out new hours of service, and to be honest, they shouldn't even they should have just went back to the old days, like the 5-5 split type thing. But of course, when it comes to what we actually need, like getting rid of the 14-hour rule, or maybe a split 30-minute break, which that actually wasn't the talk, or maybe not having the 30-minute break rule at all. Simple little things like that. Or even this, add in the e-logs. Now, I know a lot of people here are going to say, oh, well, I like the e-logs, it makes things convenient, and that's fine. That's fine, but forcing a company to spend money for an expensive piece of equipment for hundreds of trucks, and yes, it does add up. For this tablet that my company has, we only have 25 trucks, but it is, I think the tablet, like with all the equipment and stuff, was like $1,000 a piece. So you do the math. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Big Trucker B, it's really just the market fixing itself. It happens all the time. And yes, that is true. And it's sad that this is how the market has to fix itself. This is sad that this is how the trucking industry has to fix itself. And it's going to keep happening. It's going to put a lot of stress on drivers, but it is what it is. In this Business Insider article, like I said, I will leave a link down below in the description. It goes on to say, truck drivers are suffering in 2019, especially those who own or work at small businesses. Rates in the spot market, in which retailers and manufacturers buy trucking capacity as they need it rather than through a contract, sank by about 18% year over year in June. That caused truckers like Demetrius Wilburn, a Georgia-based driver, to find themselves unemployed. William bought his semi-truck 4 years ago after years of working as a company truck driver, but amid rock-bottom rates, Wilburn wasn't able to make a payment 1 month, and his truck was repossessed. 1 month. You know, the average time for, if you don't pay your car payment, is 60 days before they send somebody out to repossess it. 1 month. So maybe even these big the dealerships even know what's going on. He says, I was only 6 months away from paying it off, Wilburn told Business Insider. I'm trying to transition back into law enforcement now. Don't want to ever drive trucks again. Definitely not worth it. And is the trucking industry nowadays really worth it? Is it worth even coming in the industry anymore? When you're a kid, the trucking industry was a lot different. And we all had this dream that we were going to be free, that that trucking was the thing we wanted to do. You know, we wanted to be like our dad, our grandpa, and just travel the country and see different places. And we didn't really think about the stress that comes with it. And it's stressful to us, it's stressful to our health. So this is the kind of stress that comes with it, not knowing if your company could be the next company to shut down. So I guess the final question is, what do you do if your company shuts down? Well, you have a CDL. There's lots of truck driving companies, but not a lot of us want to work for a major company. So you want to go work for a smaller company but the sad part about it is these mega carriers are just winning. The ATA, all of them, they are winning. And every year this is going to happen. Sure, we might have a great year. We might have a year where the trucking industry, for everybody, small, big, owner-operators, whatever it may be, end up doing great. But as of now, I would be very concerned. We have companies, you know, developing self-driving trucks because they know that the truck driving industry is going to shit when it comes to getting drivers. Sure, we have these schools that are putting out truck drivers every day, the cookie cutters. You know, we have these big companies that are, you know, putting out drivers every day. But hell, even the big companies, there's some sketchy business going on. I mean, look at CR England, for example. You know, a couple people have talked about some stuff going down where CR England might have sold out and they weren't announcing it until 2020. I don't know much info about that. Back in 2009, there was a rumor saying that Prime was going to buy CR England. Is that rumor maybe true again? Who knows? But all I could say is prepare yourself, save your money, and get ready, because your company could be next, and it could be you out trying to find a ride home. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you had a wonderful day, and be safe. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, please hit that like button and hit that bell icon for every time I upload. I am gonna sign out now because I am tired, but as usual, Big Trucker B out.